if they reach them at parity. I do fear for them going up against BLG though. There's counter pick been taken in the support role as well. Corki can do pretty well versus the Ezreal, but the Alistar should be down here on this bot lane to either shepherd this in or to find a kill.
They have to look for On, I imagine, but he can still flash away, so I don't know if it's a... Oh, it is enough. Monkey slams the crushing blow and gets... Because Team WE go for the first round of grubs, BLG just go for the cross map to get the first dragon spawn. I don't think there's a threat onto Cube here. Has flash available, but Wei is level 6, so maybe they'll take the chance, and this would put Elk back in a nice spot in the game. We're going to see who leads the charge first. On goes in, tanks the turret aggro. It's too clean and clinical from the side of BLG.
Yeah, I mean, Cube there, I think even if
goes by Vampire and Taeyun, but now with the level lead, as you called out, and the first one with the Heartsteel Rush, Wei can just turn it on, turning on to Cube. Monkey tries to disengage the fight with the Cyclone, but he's got no other support, and now he's caught out by Bin's public execution, but Karis and Vampire join the fight on the right side. Monkey falls to Bin, but now they've got to deal with the reinforcements from Team WE pouring in for the right side. Bond! Pulverized flash on the 3 members, and now BLG can really turn up the heat in this fight. No chance for WE to find their way back in this one. The grubs are theirs, and multiple kills have fallen into their pockets.
They are able to find Elk on the backside as he's just a little bit split from the rest of the squad, but that really is the silver lining in what was a very patchy Cloud.
On might be in a bit of a trouble. Does net a 2-man pulverize and gets the Aftershock Keystone proc, so he can be durable enough to just walk away. Been trying to pick up the minion wave while the turret is going down slowly. Knight and Wade jumping onto Cube, knowing he doesn't have flash. And On, or Elk I should say, aiding with the True Shot Barrage over the wall. I don't even know if it clipped him. Yes, it did. 3 kills over to BLG, making it 4 total now. And Ben and On trying to make their way away from the dive from Team WE, and not much is going to get accomplished in terms of kills, but Team WE managed to push them away from the tier 1 on the top side, and that is first brick going over to Team WE.
That is great play by On there to keep his top laner alive. Just, you know, the small things, right? Manages to knock away the Rel, and if that crash down had landed...
It didn't guarantee the stun, and the slow wasn't enough for Taeyun to feel threatened. He just balconies away. It's a nice look from BLG. No harm, no foul. Still quite some time before the 3rd dragon spawns, but WE are now going to fancy a chance here. On forced to pop the ultimate here just for the damage reduction. And Vampire was looking for the flash. Elk preemptively getting out of harm's way, and Wei forced to flash over the wall as well, but they get the empowered blast cone, so no threat and danger for them. Fighting for position and vision control in this top river where the Rift Herald awaits to be taken. Knight continuously getting chip damage onto Karis, threatening the siege of this T1, and Karis now too low to defend the remnants, and Knight, even with the turret ramping up, says, I don't care, bro. I'm taking this tower.
Okay.
Well, the wraparound. Okay. Forcing the flash on a Monkey, dodges the Glacial Prison, BLG. 20 seconds before the dragon spawns.
Yeah, exactly the right
Evade
time.
his permafrost on any target.
Yeah, exactly. And this is now that breaking point, right? This is the do or die, I feel like, or the first point in the game where we're going to get to see this full explosive team fight with everybody really around. Wei no ulti, they're going in!
Oh, there it is, the combo. On leads the charge with the flash, and Ben follows up beautifully with public execution. BLG swiftly execute Karis, and now for Team WE, no chance to contest this dragon.
It's a quick flash from On, and again, it's a 100-0 in the space of the CC. Exceptional performance from On, just getting that quick snap engage, and WE are left to flee out to the sides, out to the wings, because they've got no business going for that 3rd dragon. It wasn't the big explosive 5v5 that I'd envisioned, but it's certainly one that sets the tone for this game, as BLG are not looking to give up this Herald either.
You know what? I'll give credit over to Team WE that they did not completely give up their entire advantage just for the 3rd dragon in the first match. However, going for the Rift Herald, Wei wants to ensure that they don't get anything on this map, and Monkey's able to space himself away, goes back in with the Cyclone. Knight in trouble, but he's got a shield, and he's buying time for the rest of his team. On might be the first one to fall as Karis rejoins the fight alongside Cube, and BLG, they might have been enough more than they can chew. Here comes Team WE, collapsing in on the Titans that are BLG, but they're falling, they're getting sliced down. Now Ben is the only survivor that manages to equalize the fight, but he's just 1 man against 4, and WE...
They are going to be getting something for it. So it's about Knight making that difference. Maybe not now, but in those team fights with all this extra gold that he's getting, and can teleport into this if they want to as well.
observers pointing out where the deep wards from BLG are, and unfortunately for them, they don't really have the deepest wards. The farthest outreach they've got is in that Otacon pit, so nothing too favorable for a flank from either of the solo laners. They're just gonna walk on in, and Monkey just starts up the fight with the Cyclone. Wade tries to stall the fight out with his own ultimate as Bin finds his way now into the backline, but On has already fallen, but Bin equalizes it, support for support. Bin still trying to do his best. Knight finds the backline! There it is! Fate sealed right on top of Karis, and now it's just down to Taeyoon and Monkey to carry out the damage, but BLG do enough to ward Team WE off away from the Dragon.
The fight's a little bit even, maybe a little too even than they would have liked, but coming away with that objective means that all future fights will be just that little bit skewed in their favor. Now WE making a play for this bot tier 1, but they can't engage source that WE have been using and using again and again this time round. Tier 1 turret in the mid lane now under fire, and they're going to look to get it.
Vampire forces the onslaught here onto Elk. The public execution for Bin was too out of range. He doesn't get a chance to join the fight, and now BLG are scattered. Knight coming in now, trying to see if they can equalize. Now that Bin has joined the fight, looking for Karis, finds it again with the Fate Seal. The Q3 lands right on top of Monkey, and the GA is popped. But his teammates, they're starting to slowly corral around Knight. They give him the reinforcements they need. The Blast Cone. Knight survives for now, but Taeyoon with a quick flash guns down Knight, and BLG are left to scramble. Team WE will pick up the outcome.
Yeah, you're going to have an advantage in the 5 versus 5 BLG, but if you lose your AD carry with no response, that's no chance that you take it. Now Bin sniffing, snipes out Vampire. Can he find some more?
I don't think he's going to get any more, though. It was a nice attempt from BLG's top laner, but a little too more than what he could actually handle. Team WE will still secure themselves this duo. This is very bold. If BLG can try and burn down this Baron before Elder spawns, they'll have enough time to make a macro play. And uh-oh, Vampire goes too far. Monkey forced to dive in to try and bail out and salvage what was made by Vampire's fumble, but it is just a disaster for Team WE. BLG make the punish, spring the trap, and now find themselves in a 5v3 as Karis tries to get a little bit of damage with the in-between worlds. It's just a chunk.
Might not be the biggest deal in the end, and I think BLG are going to be largely happy with the sequence of events, but Vampire just stepping that little bit too close as undone. 30 minutes of exceptionally hard work to walk into the brush. All of a sudden, that's enough space to get a Hex Flash to not really be punished either, and the rest of the squad just not quite on fire, not quite where they needed to be, and the small micro steps end up being the problem.
Yeah, it's so close that I find it hard to fault Vampire for it, because it seemed like they were all on the same page that they were going to face check as a unit. But like you said, literally gives BLG the final nail in the coffin for Team WE. Then the blue side squad is going to look over this match with a little bit of heartbreak, but also they should be taking away the fact that, hey guys, we brought it to BLG so far. Now, the game is still not over. BLG still have to close it out, but with Elder and Baron on their side, I find it very hard to not do so here.
No, I mean, at the very least, they should be breaking open the base. And with a 4K gold lead, they can just dive with the Elder as well. Knight, you can see, just charging forward. Knows what the mission objective is, and once you've got 2 inhibitors, getting that third becomes so mundane, so fundamental, that it's not really ever a problem. Another 40 seconds still, so they have this wave, they have one more where they've got Elder, and WE, they just have to play respectfully, they have to concede this. If they fight, they die, and if they die, they lose. And BLG, it's methodical, it's meticulous, then you can just engage as BLG. Wei is so tanky that him dying is just not a foreseeable circumstance.
Glacial Prison lands right onto Cube. That's a nice target to pick off first. Now, thankfully, Monkey's clone is going to stall BLG's siege for just a second here. But as I say that, they make their way through. The inhibitor tower falls. The third inhibitor should be next on the menu. And Team WE, four-man Magnus, maybe! That's a big engage. Knight loses his GA. Ben trying to stall the fight as long as he can. Monkey with the second cast of Cyclone already used, but Ben finds the public execution on Taeyoon, the troublemaker for BLG, and they finally did him away. Monkey will not get a chance to upset his former squad today, as BLG, after a grueling 34 minutes, will take this game in stride.
Yeah, for 30 of those 34, it was a nail-biter. It was as close as you could call it, but one quick engage, one snap decision from On, and BLG end the game with a 10k gold lead. Baron and L